Okay, so moving on to concealers. Now, concealer goes on after your foundation. Why? Because if you put it on before, all of your good hard work and time, precious time, is wasted because the minute you put your foundation on, you are buffing it away or wiping it away. Concealer needs to be a fairly isolated, heavy, well, not heavy is not quite the word, but a fairly isolated extra bit of coverage. Okay, we don't want to blend it away. Okay, we want to cover what foundation can't. The whole point of the foundation is to get rid of most of it. You still want to see some natural elements of the skin, so a little bit of discoloration or something, a little bit of like, that's all fine. Like, it doesn't have to be completely flawless. When you're using a wind up stick of any nature, of any brand, don't be tempted to wind it all the way up. Because when you do that, you can't wind it back down. The cream that's in there is too thick and it just won't come back down into the barrel, okay? So never wind it up more than what you need. Otherwise, you are just going to be stuck with all that product that's out of the tube. All right, so I've wound up this tiny bit of Peachy Sleep. Now, the reason this one is so popular is simply, I'll start on this side, is simply because it's corrective in that it's got enough yellow salmon to help disguise this darkness, but enough skin color in there that you don't need an additional concealer over the top of it. Often with corrective concealers, you do need another skin color over the top, a skin color concealer over the top, like the yellow or the green. You need to pop another concealer over that. But if you've just got very slight discoloration, nothing that's too intense, then the Peachy Sleep will be enough for under the eyes. Now, the Peachy Sleep is designed for darkness, okay? So it helps disguise that. So it's perfect for under the eyes. If you've got excess baggy skin or you've got quite sort of puffy skin, then this is not the product for you. It doesn't hide that puffiness or that excess skin. It's a lighter product, so it will make things like that look bigger. Remember, light looks big, dark looks small. So if you've got flat, dark circles or it's indented, you've got a crease and that dark line, perfect. If you've got baggy, puffy eyes, no. You will then select one of our skin colored concealers that match your skin color and try and maybe look at maybe the medium tan or the medium olive. The trick is to make that area under the eyes a little darker and then that will look less intense. Okay, now with the Peachy Sleep or any concealer that you're using, you can see already just by me popping that on there, you don't need a lot, okay? Now, when you're a mature person and you do have the lines, you've got to weigh up, do I want to completely cover the dark circle or do I want to make my wrinkles look worse? It's a balancing act. So my suggestion is you just tone back your dark circles rather than completely covering them, because the concealer will gravitate into your wrinkles. I don't care whose concealer it is, and it will make that area look more intense or deeper. So a little bit, and you can add more if you need to. And notice I've put the concealer in this dark corner, okay, right here to here. That is where most of that darkness is. I avoid putting concealer in this area where we smile, okay, so that when I'm blending it, I can blend it out to this area a little bit, but I'm not going to place the product there. It's too thick. Concealer is too thick to be putting here. You want to avoid this area where you have the natural smile lines so that it doesn't crease. So concealer just in this little C here, and you can pop it in your sort of tear area there where we all get a little red here. And in fact, what this does by popping it here and just applying it upwards, blending it up, gives the eyes a lift and gives you a nice, beautiful looking almond eye. It gives the eyes a little bit of a facelift. And then all you need to do is blend that with your finger. If you're a brushes person, you could use either the number 7 or you could use, where is it? The number 10. And again, you place you push it on, even if you're using a brush. Okay, I love fingers because I just feel that it melts the product and just blends it better. But even if I'm using a brush, I dab it. I don't sweep it because you'll get the bristle marks or the lines from the brush in the concealer. I mean, look at that. It's just a nice subtle lift. I could make that even more, like just so you know, like you can completely hide it. You just put another layer. But for daytime, I'm not really needing to do that, okay? All right, let's go over to this eye and we can move on to the next makeup product. Now, when I'm doing my concealer myself in the morning, I tend to just wipe it in the two little C's and I just blend it at the same time, just patting it into the eyes. And that's exactly what you should do with an eye cream overnight. Just pat it in like that and let it be. If you're wanting to set it down, you've got an oily skin or a more humid climate, you can definitely do that, but I would probably wait till you finished your makeup at the end. And you can use either our loose HD setting powder, which is a miracle blur powder. It basically helps blur any imperfections like large pores or fine lines. So it's perfect to use afterwards once you've done your makeup, or you can get it in the refillable compact form. So it's either loose in a refillable jar or in the compact if you prefer a pressed product. Eye primer comes in our wind up stick, but for now I'm using my primer that was in our former little pot. Now the eye primer is similar to a concealer, but it's a little more lightweight, and what it does is it neutralizes the veins on the lid area so that you get more of a nice natural nude appearance. It also helps the eye area look larger, okay, and it also helps your eyes look more awake because you're not having any of that blueness sort of causing a tired appearance or reflecting down on the dark circles. So it's a way of neutralizing any of that discoloration, giving a bigger eye area look, so it gives the eyes more of an awake appearance. But what I love about the eye primer in our range too is that when you put your eyeshadows on, if you're wanting to use an eyeshadow, it really makes the eyeshadows quite intense and last a lot longer on the eyes. So if you have found that your foundation is enough, the loose in particular is quite good, then you might not need this product. But if you have that discoloration or you want your eyeshadow to be a little more intense and last longer, then the eye primer is definitely for you. So I'm just going to quickly show you how you use this, how you blend it, and then once we've done, we're going to let that sit for a bit, move on to the contouring, and then come back to the eyes a little later on. Now I'm using the what brush have we got here? I keep forgetting the numbers, number 6. And I do like to use a brush for this. I just find this area hard to work with just my finger. And I also like this to be quite well blended and thin. I don't want it to be too thick. This is perfect as a nude eyeshadow look itself. And you could apply the base eyeshadow over the top for even more of that sort of nude intensity, which is quite a classic sort of eye look and a great look for anyone that's just wanting to open up their eyes. If you've got hooded eyes, just don't stress so much about having or wanting to wear eyeshadow. Just focus on using an all over color. And especially if you've got sort of smaller eyes, like just an all over color that is easy to blend and just really opens up the eyes, okay? And then just seal it down with, say, the base eyeshadow or our HD powder. Okay, so there it is. It's just a really nice light coverage to neutralize the discoloration on the eyes.